So, the phrase,
Ivory.
yes,
The amount of unique names that are
the
here.
phrase, thank you. So the phrase
Welcome.
"give to gain" basically it actually tries to say that women are nurturers. Every woman has the ability to reproduce, to multiply. That's the natural gift God has given us. Whatever you give to a woman, she is going to multiply it. So when God said going to the women, so women, anything, it's a clarion call to the world to invest more in women. Education, resources, everything should be really, it's a man's word, but if we do more for the women, there is this possibility that that the world is able to benefit. That's the gain. The world is able to benefit from the investment they have made on the
Please, a
woman.
round of
Thank you
applause
very
for
much.
her. So, Ivory, according to Ivory, when God said, "Go into the world and multiply," He was speaking to. He was speaking to. How many things have you multiplied? How many? How many? So please, if you haven't multiplied, rather, please start doing that. Anybody else? Give to gain. Give to gain. You want to try? Sorry. Anybody else? Give to gain, please.
Good morning, all.
Good
In a
morning.
very short sentence, I would rather say that gain is a product of the give. What we do, what we give out in society, if we have a healthy society, we all benefit. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Maimi Usman. So, what I understand with the phrase give to gain, there's a saying, anything you give a woman, she multiplies.
Yeah.
So, when you give women the opportunity, resources,
Before I move to anybody else, let me explain what I understand by gift to gain. Now, a lot of us have said, when you give women, what if they don't give you? Are we going to just sit around and wait for them to give us? No. We're going to go into that room and take it by force. Yes. I'm not trying to bring religion into this, but the Bible says, only the violent. Who can help me with that? Okay, I don't know, but I'm very sure the Quran has something similar as well, you know. So we're not just going to sit around and be like, oh, when are they going to give us? So we're going to go into rooms and take. So gift again basically doesn't mean they have to give you, right? You can be the one doing the giving. So let's say I have a seed, for instance. You know how trees work. I have a seed, an orange seed. If I hold onto that seed for too long and I don't plant it, what happens? It decays or it spoils. I don't benefit from it, and you don't benefit from it, right? But if I decide to give that seed to benefit from it, but every other person benefits from it. So if you have a talent, a potential, if there's something in you that you're hiding, that you're not grooming as a lady, it could be your creative skill. It could be your public speaking skill. Like, a lot of us want to speak publicly. A lot of us have a lot of things to say. But we just find a way to bottle it in and like, do you understand? So that's the energy that I want us to have from now on. You don't wait to be giving before you try to gain something from it. Sometimes do the giving, let other people gain from it. The thing about giving is, you know, they say, oh, what you sow, you shall reap, right? The thing about giving is, every time you give, it's not just the person that you're giving that benefits from it, but you yourself, you benefit from it. Do you understand? Because it's almost like there's so much that God has put in us. Oh my God, why am I mentioning God? But like, if we don't mention God, who will we mention? So there's so much that God has put in us. There's so much potential that we have in us. But the problem is we don't empty it. So the goal on earth for women, that I think is for everybody, but I'm just speaking to the ladies, right? Is when you empty what you have in you, you will always find a way to fill it back up. Right? So if I have so much I want to say, if I have so much wisdom I want to share, if I don't share it, I can't get more. Because sharing, like me speaking to you guys have spoken to me as well. So I've also taken notes of certain things that you've said. So I'm just going to encourage us all to empty ourselves. anything that you have in you, anything you want to do, don't wait. Please don't sit around waiting. Take up spaces. When you go into the room with your heads high. I'm sounding like a motivational speaker now. Oh no. But when you go into the room with your heads high. If a question is being asked, don't wait for other people to answer. Just because you're sitting at the back doesn't mean you cannot be the one to answer the question. Like, no, make people where they front answer them. No. Lift your hands up, answer the question, and, do all of that. Do you understand? Does anybody have anything to add? Just, a tip. Let's share girls' tip, a tip for the women. It could be a makeup tip, though. I'm not wearing makeup because I don't know how to do makeup, unfortunately. Who wants to teach me? Who wants to teach me? Okay, I'll meet you after the event. So nobody wants to teach me how to do my makeup. You teach me. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so sorry to bring us back, but I'm speaking towards the theme give to gain. Yes. So from my own ideology, if you're giving, you're losing, right? But it only takes me back to this Bible verse that says, there is he that scattereth and yet aboundeth, and then there is he that withholdeth and yet tendeth to poverty. So if you're giving, you're not actually losing. The first person that is benefited is actually you. So that's the perspective I'm viewing it from. It may not be from the aspect that you think you're going to gain, right?
I think one thing we ladies need to do is to learn how to collaborate with each other, please. I see a lot of ladies doing... Okay, I was just informed that our main speaker is here, so she'll be coming in shortly. So I see a lot of ladies, not trying to support. We're not in a competition, please. The world is big enough for all of us to shine. The room is big enough for all of us. I hate it when I see somebody on the road, like a lady, and then I'm complimenting you. I'm like, oh, I love your dress. And you're like, thank you. Please. I'm not trying to steal the dress. I genuinely love the dress. So please, can we learn to help each other? I might not have the money for the business. You have the money. You don't have all the ideas. Maybe you're trying to start a makeup, you're a makeup beginner. You're trying to start a makeup, what's it called? Brand, right? You're trying to be a makeup artist. And you don't know you know how to do the makeup, but you don't know the best products to buy. And I know the best product to buy. I can recommend for you. There's this thing people say like, if you know so much, why don't you do it by yourself? I know so much, but I might not be able to do it by myself at that time. So please, let's learn to collaborate with each other. Speaking of collaboration, talk to the person beside you. Ask for their name, ask of something. This is also a place to network. You don't just come here and then you go back. Network with somebody. You don't know who is sitting next to you. It could be a content creator, you're a fashion brand owner, you get to collaborate. So please, 1 minute to network, or 2 minutes. DJ, please play something for us. DJ. Collect each other's numbers, please. Follow each other on social media. The person that might make your traditional marriage wear might be here. Like you guys have been waiting to talk since. So. If you're done talking to the person by the left, turn to the right. If you're done with the right, turn to the back. want to talk to me. Okay. Okay, can we do that later? I've marked your face. Thank you. So please, while you're networking, take out your phone and follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, please, so you can see more updates on our events. Follow us on social media. Oh, I want you. All I ever wanted was to make you mine. Make you mine. All I wanna know is that you got my bag. Got my bag. Now, all I wanna know is who. All I wanna know is what. All I wanna know is back your bag. Back your bag. Let's start wrapping it up. Oh, yo. Thank you for the big show. Oh, yes, and please, if you take a snap, please post it and tag us so we can repost. So you fucked it up. Make me feel like say, now me day on top. I'll be the only one. Shut it back, Benny. The way we were before now. Get your head on tight. Oh, I want you. Please, somebody just asked if we can make videos. You're free. There's no camera policy here. Make videos, take all the pictures you want. You can take pictures with your neighbors. My mama used to tell me, girl, you ain't that cool. To see a man you love and start to act a fool. Tell me what's a girl love supposed to do. Tonight I'm breaking mama's rule. Baby, there's a lot of things I want to say. I'm in love with you, it's driving me insane. I know I'm sounding stupid, but is it okay to be a woman every day? Can we please with a standing ovation welcome the woman of the hour, the lady we have all been waiting for. Please, a round of applause. Come on, you guys.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Okay, so I see a lot of people standing at the back. Please come closer. There are still spaces in the porter cabin as well. So all the people that arrive should come to the porter cabin first. Good morning. Can you tell your neighbor on our behalf, it's going to be a great day? Now I feel like one of those new generation pastors. Look at your neighbor on the left and say, it's my turn to shine. Finally say, Clock it, everybody. Good morning and welcome to this special edition. Actually, it's the first edition of this particular series. We've had different breakfast sessions. We've had an evening wait. We've had various networking Nixa. But this is the first edition of the Women of the Future breakfast mixer. Ideally, we're all meant to have all the past events that we've had in the morning. You would have your full breakfast before the event start, but we've packed them for you because we know some of us are fasting for Ramadan, some for Lent, and some of us who are in NSPDD, we have done our fasting in January. Am I right? Or the 30 days redeem fasting. How many of you did 9 days of glory? 7 days of glory. Koza, I celebrate you. I almost felt like saying praise the Lord. I like this audience here this morning. And interestingly, I see all your glowing faces. I see all the beautiful faces, the nice hair, and all excited to come in this morning to meet our guest, a woman of excellence, a woman of timber and caliber, steel, and with the way Nigeria is today, with the price of petrol and diesel that have gone high because of the Iran war, I would say a woman of diesel and petrol. The Honorable Commissioner for Trade, Commerce, I believe Industries,
Commerce, cooperative
trade and investment for the largest economy in Nigeria, the state of aquatic splendor, the state of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the center of commerce, but the center of creativity and Nollywood, Lagos State. Please welcome Dr. Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebem. Please adjust the mic a bit higher. Honorable Commissioner, it is such an honor to have you here this morning.
Thank you very much.
On this chair, Honorable Commissioner, we've had the wife of the Speaker, we've had MDs of federal agencies, we've had the Senate President, we've had senators, we've had speakers, we've had ministers. It's the first time we have a subnational commissioner on this prestigious stage at the Youth House, and it's a commissioner from my state, Lagos. Please give her a big round of applause.
I'm honored. Thank you.
And part of the reason why she's here is because she's not just a commissioner. She's an accomplished professional, businesswoman in her own right. She's worked with many organizations like Lafarge, private sector institution. She's locally and foreign trained, highly exposed, and that has earned her not just a role in Lagos, but a role in her heart and mind as a woman that is shattering the ceiling and making an impact in our generation. All the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Please welcome Dr. Folashade Ambrose.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you can all hear me. Lovely.
So, I'm going to have very short questions for you because the ladies here want to have questions. They want to interact. Fantastic. They want to engage with their big sister and ask tough questions. You know, things that can help them in their career, in their journey, and in their businesses. Am I speaking your mind? And so it's going to be a sister-to-sister conversation. Beyond policy and the economy is, how can I grow my business? How can I make myself visible to attract investment or ideas? How can I align myself to be able to achieve my goal in the private sector? How can I enhance my voice in the boardroom? These are some of the things that the young women here are interested in, because these are women of the future. They're going to be the ladies who are running our economy. They're going to be running our businesses. They're going to be running our government houses. Am I saying the right thing? And so we've brought you here so that you can hear from one of the women who is making things happen in Nigeria. Yeah? Honorable Commissioner.
Okay, so thank you all very much. I think it's important that we also, just as he has acknowledged me, I acknowledge you. So I really want to say, first and foremost, Honorable Dr. Dayo Abdullahi Israel, thank you very much. Thank you to your team for all inviting me. I didn't hesitate 1 minute when I was invited, to come. Yes, please applaud. I'd like to say greetings to you all in the audience, both in person, and I don't know if they are online, but if they are, also online. I also want to importantly say Happy International Women's Day.
Clock it!
Apart from my birthday, which is in February, my most favorite time of the year, or should I say month of the year, is obviously March. Simply because it's our month to be celebrated, to celebrate each other, and to really, really uplift each other as well. And can I talk about the theme of International Women's Day? I think it's important because I'm looking around the room and I'm delighted that I see a lot of our women folk. It's very rare. And this year's theme, Give to Gain, is all about equality. And when we're talking about equality, we're talking about empowerment. And obviously, in my remit, it's about economic empowerment. And it's really important that when we're talking about gender equality, we cannot not talk about equity. And I really want to give a distinction between the two. Because when we're talking about equality, that's a destination, isn't it? And equity is the vehicle to get us there. I really want you to understand that. And because equity deep dives, equity is the bespoke, intentional action of, quite frankly, leveling the playing field. And why am I really emphasizing on equity, and why does it matter? I'll define it. When you're talking about equality, it's about when every person has the same rights and the same opportunities. Equity is ensuring that every woman gets the right pair of shoes that fit her. Equality is about giving everybody a shoe. Equity is about making sure that that shoe fits you specifically. And I'll give a few examples. When we're talking about in the place of work, a new mother would really appreciate flexible working hours, isn't that? That's equity. When we're talking about, and I'll give a political illustration, the current number of women in the House, currently there's 21 out of 469 seats. That's about 4.5%. And at the legislative arm, which is the higher level, there's 54 seats out of 991. And we all know that when we're talking about equity, the Every Seats for a Woman bill, which is currently in the House, and I'm hoping that it will be read and passed, that is equity in action. So do you understand where I'm trying to get to in terms of what equity is? So the Special Seats for Women bill is an excellent example of equity in action. And I really felt that it's important to mention this because irrespective of wherever you are, you all have a sphere of influence. So I'm going to encourage you all to all try and make sure that you actually exercise your influence wherever you are. When I looked at, in preparation for this today, I was looking at the question, the $3.4 million or trillion dollar map and the glass ceiling, and why are women in big business? And again, when you're talking about that, I know you're going to have a number of questions for me later, but I really felt that I would love to hear a lot of your questions in that regard. I'm going to stop talking because I can go on for a long time.
Please give the Honorable Commissioner a big round of applause. So she's giving us a opening remark. Now we're going to have a chat.
Yeah.
Who is Shade Ambrose?
Who is Shade Ambrose? Who is Folashade?
Outside being a commissioner.
Well, outside being a commissioner, well, I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful young women. I am a mentor.
3 women, 3 young ladies.
3 young ladies, yes.
So you're really doing the International Women's Month at home, even?
Absolutely. When you're thinking about the population, I think it's 50.1% to 49% of women. So we do already have equality, don't we? We just need to be in the positions of influence and decision making. Who is Folashade Ambrose? I run a foundation called Women's Inspiring Impact Network, and it's really all about uplifting women and ensuring that they exhibit their best versions of themselves. I'm a leader. I'm the Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment. I have almost 30 years of private sector experience, which is multifaceted. I've worked internationally. I trained in finance. My first degree was in finance and accounting. I have considerable experience in driving transformation, essentially focusing on enhancing performance within the financial services sector. And yes, that's who I am in a heartbeat.
And so you've done Lafarge, you've done Diageo, you've done PricewaterhouseCoopers, you've done Ford Motors and all of that. How does it feel being a woman in many of those industries, perhaps with a lot of men in the room. How do you make yourself relevant and make your voice heard, particularly in some industries that are dominated by men? How do you still find a voice in the room? How do you still drive your own vision in those places, particularly for a lot of our young women that want to pursue a career in the private sector and are wondering how can they position themselves to be able to get a seat at the table in the boardroom?
Very simply, preparation. And preparation across a number of dimensions. I'm going to share some illustrative stories, but I'll start from the very beginning, because I don't know what levels of women I have here, but I think it's important that I share my journey. Yes, you're absolutely right. In my case, my career actually kicked off in the UK, in the city. We call it the square mile, and predominantly testosterone in the building.
UK's Wall Street.
Yes. And when obviously I'm in the room, I don't feel intimidated because I prepare. I would never, and I've never, and it's a habit that I've continued to cultivate. When I go into meetings, it's important to be prepared. And when I talk about preparation, why am I there? Preparation, who is going to be there in that room? What do they stand for? What is my role in that room? And quite frankly, I wouldn't say that I know the answers to all of it, by the way. So it's another thing to also say it's okay not to know. But one thing that I've always done is when you prepare, confidence comes very closely by. So given an example, you've gone into a room, you're about to make a presentation. I will share some of my stories. I've been nervous when I'm presenting, but in my preparation, it's enabled me to really gain credibility. And when you gain credibility, you gain trust. When you gain trust, you're given more responsibility. So the other thing that comes from that is also consistency. When you're a consistent performer, which has come from preparation, which has come from demonstrating that when you're given a task, you try and give your best, that enables you and helps you to get the job done. When I'm in the room with men, quite frankly, I am self-confident. So one of the things that I also did is to really understand who I am. What does Folashade stand for? And one thing that I know that has anchored me over the years is having clarity of purpose. And when I say purpose, it's really about understanding who I am. There's a famous, I read a lot, there's a famous philosopher called Plato. And he often says that the biggest battle is the battle of self. You have no business criticizing or even talking about anyone else unless you conquer yourself. So what I've also done is also ensure that my own self-confidence is based on my enhanced understanding of, there's no perfection anywhere, areas of further development. So I've done, I'm sure you've heard of Myers-Briggs tests, you've heard of other self-assessment tests, so that I can really understand who I am, or should I say my blind spots. And then obviously—
Sorry, what did you call the test again?
Myers-Briggs.
How many of you have done the Myers-Briggs test? So you need to write that down when you get back home and go and conduct a Myers-Briggs test for yourself.
I'll share a few more tests. There's one called DISC, dominance, influence. I'll try and remember what the other aspects of it. But these are, and they're free tests, by the way. You can get them online. They're free. But where am I going with all of this? This has enabled me to really ensure that when I'm going in, I know what sort of version of myself to bring out. And yes, when I'm dealing with men, yes, there have been unconscious bias. I've witnessed it. I've responded to it. Over the years, I'm happy to say I've responded better to some of the unconscious bias. But quite frankly, it's all about credibility. And credibility comes from what? Preparation. And when you prepare, of course, you're going to do and give your best self.
Thank you very much. A round of applause. I think we're not going to do round of, we're going to do clock it. So clock it for the Honorable Commissioner. Excellent. Honorable Commissioner, we often hear about the importance of mentorship. But having a sponsor who actively advocates for you in rooms you are not is equally critical for career progression. How can young female professional organically build relationship with high-level sponsors or partners of destiny without the connection seemingly purely transactional?
Okay, so that's a great question, by the way, and I'm really happy.
You want to clock into that question?
Great question.
Honorable Commissioner, you haven't clocked it since, so this is
Clock. I'm clocking, though. I'm clocking. Can you see? It's a great question because that was one of the reasons I actually established the Women's Inspiring Impact Network. In the private sector, I was approached by lots and lots of women. Oh, can you mentor me? And can you sponsor me? And quite frankly, my reputation that I've been able to achieve over the years has not come easy. And if I'm going to work and refer people, I want to know that they're people that, quite frankly, will not dent, or should I say dent, my reputation. So I really want to know who that person is. That's one. Secondly, I was also on the other side. Many, many years ago, I also went and looked for sponsors to sponsor me. And one thing that was consistent in terms of my request is, who are you? What have you achieved? What do you want to achieve? And why should I sponsor you? So I realized early on that I needed to develop relationships. I realized early on I needed to demonstrate value. I realized early on that I needed to show that I'm not just all about myself. I'm also a thinker that can create value. And case in point, when I moved back to Nigeria, it was a totally different culture, totally different mindset. In the UK, there's structures, there's systems, there's structured processes. When I came back here, I realized that in addition to what I've just said, there's an incredible amount of energy. There's an incredible amount of resilience, and I'm using that word intentionally. And there's a deep-rooted skew of entrepreneurial mindsets and behaviors and attitudes. And in my trying to strive, I realized that I needed to fuse the two and lead, obviously with structure, with integrity, with processes, but also lead with empathy and really ensuring that I'm listening to what a lot of people want and want to do. So in terms of sponsorship, I think it's really important that I remember I said reflect, look inwards, understand what it is you want to be about, ensure that you have established your own credibility, ensure that it's not just about promoting yourself. And promoting yourself is okay, by the way. But what I did was I did a lot of volunteering. I realized that I needed to study the person that I want to actually sponsor me. I really needed to know who that person is and see where I can connect with that person. In my case, bearing in mind I'd spent a majority of my childhood in the abroad, and when I came back here, I realized I needed to build relationships. So what I did, I quite frankly knew where I was going. I knew I wanted to work in a certain area where I could drive transformation and performance. And my first job then, when I moved back, was actually as the head of strategy for Guinness. I'm sure that's a brand you're all familiar with, called Diageo. And working in that sphere, I realized that in order to make impact, I needed to start working with people. So I joined a group called WIMBIZ. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. Women in Business and Management, right? And I quickly identified the kind of women leaders that are accomplished and that can deliver value. But I said I can't just go up to them. I needed to actually add value. So I started volunteering. You see where I'm going? I started making sure that they could see the kind of work that I'm doing. And I started to build relationships. I got introduced by other people, because that also holds a lot of weight, that other people are, because that way they're implicitly endorsing you. Do you understand? And remember, it's about building trust. And quite frankly, when I established WIN, I realized that I needed to bring a lot of my own network to the table. And so in my programs that I held, I started to try and understand that it's really about leadership. And leadership, quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, I always operate from a position of best, whether it's in Nigeria or anywhere else. Best is best. Abi, do you agree? Best is best. However, What I would then do is overlay the best, look at where I am, and identify the gaps, and try and plug it. So even when I'm going there, I'm going to you, or I'm approaching you with intention. This is what I want to achieve. This is the area that I want to, work on. How can we sort of, or I'd read their profile and say, I really like what you've done. Preparation, remember I talked about preparation as well. And then try and home in on a specific area. I hope I'm clocking. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Before I go to the audience, please give her a big round of applause. Before I go to the audience, and the Honorable Commissioner has flown all the way from Lagos to be with us here, so I'm sure she's excited to take questions. So before I go into the audience, I have one last question. If we're going to give our audience here and those who are watching online 5 secrets to succeed in business or in enterprise, what would those 5 that you've learned in your journey professionally, politically? 5 succeeding. Is that okay? Yes. 5.
Okay. Very good question. To succeed, period, whether it's in business or leadership. Do you agree? I think for me, having clarity of purpose is very important. I like using analogies. When you're building a house, it's important to have what? A very solid foundation. In my case, I realized that it's either you are driving a car and you don't have a destination, or you're driving a car and you have a destination. So I keep using myself as an example, and I try to use analogies to illustrate so that everybody understands. For me, my purpose, or should I say my leadership stand, is to inspire best in myself and others. And that's something that has become my raison d'etre, in the sense that it's something that I live every single day. And it's important that you all have clarity of purpose. And mine did not just come just like that, and I didn't just clock it. It was something that I actually had to sit down and understand, who am I? What do I stand for and why? What do I find fulfilling? What do I enjoy doing? And I realized that I really always want to give my best in anything that I do, whether I know it or not. Do you understand? I remember I'll give a few examples, can I? I remember when I got my first job in Nigeria, by the way, and it was quite a chunky job. I was in charge of strategy for Guinness, and their competitor then, if I remember, was Nigerian Breweries. Yeah. And I was asked to come and speak to a big crowd of almost 800 salesmen, and you know how rowdy salesmen can be. And I was like, yeah, but how am I going to do this? Speaking was not something that I really, thought I could do. But I realized that, Folashade, your stand is about giving your best in anything that you want to do. So I actually went and invested and got coached on public speaking. I had a video for the first time when I was speaking. It was even showing my hands. It was shaking when I was doing it. But I'm happy to say when I finally got to, after iterative coaching sessions, I was able to speak with confidence. I had a framework. I use a lot. I'll come back to that, one of the things, frameworks. And I was able to speak successfully and encourage all those men to go out and really win in the marketplace. So what did I say? Having a clarity of purpose, right? The second one is preparation. And I think I've already infused why preparation is important. There's a saying that you either prepare to succeed or you prepare to fail, or if it's something like that. The third one is really about ensuring that you give your best in anything that you are doing, okay? Whether you know it or not, fortunately, in this age that you are so blessed in that you have is it Google, and now it's ChatGPT and all sorts of different tools to use. So you have no business failing. And even if you don't know the answer, I think it's okay to say so and to collaborate and sort of lead with your heart, lead with authenticity. I think the fourth one, am I in the fourth one now?
Yes.
Frameworks. I have come from a consultancy background. I used to work for PricewaterhouseCoopers back in the UK. And a lot of what I do is I can't remember a lot of things, but I use a lot of frameworks. So frameworks help me a lot. And it even allows me to be innovative, because even when I look at frameworks, I'm thinking, how can we make this framework better? Remember, I'm going back to my purpose. Do you understand? So even if it's working very well, how can we make it better?
So when you say framework, what do you mean?
What do I mean? Okay, I'll use one. I'll give you a framework. There's one framework I use a lot in everywhere I've worked. It's called RASI, RASCI. And I drive accountability wherever I go. And as a leader, I understand, for me, success as a leader is not about my achievements, it's about the success of my team. And when I see them soaring, it gives me joy. But having said that, it's not an accident, it's intentionality. And so what I do is I hold them accountable. So I make sure they have clarity of what the whole vision and mission is all about. I make sure everybody understands what their role in the game is. And then I give them tools and frameworks to get it done. And so I do that through frameworks. So RASI is about who is responsible, who is accountable, who do we need to support, who needs to be consulted, who needs to be informed. Stakeholders, when you're starting a new job, for instance, you need to know who your stakeholders are. When I was coming, you noticed I called your name in full. So I actually went and said, who is Dayo, Israel? So I've actually gone and read his own profile. And that's why I realized that, wow, when you're thinking about a country of almost, 200 plus million, of which a good chunk, if not 40%, are the youth. He's doing a good job. Applaud him, please. He's doing an incredible job, coupled with the added complexity of the fact that there aren't jobs for every, graduate cohort that is coming out. So remember when I said when I moved back, one of the unique things I mentioned or noticed about Nigeria is that we have a deep entrepreneurial footprint. And so I use a lot of frameworks. Feedback is another framework. Boost. Hey, I'm going through menopause. It's trying to make me remember all these things now, and I'm trying to remember. Boost is another one. When you're giving feedback, I believe feedback is the food of champions. Even as I'm sitting here.
So Boost is an acronym for something.
Yes, I'll come back to that. But I want to explain the importance of feedback. When you're giving feedback, feedback for me is not all just about the spoken word. Feedback is also body language. Feedback is what I intuit. You know, we're all women here, or a majority of us here. I listen so much to my inner voice. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. And you know, sometimes, I hope some of you speak Yoruba. I'm from Lagos. I'm sure you've all come across that. It's always something. Something was telling me and I didn't listen. Have we all not had that experience before? And that's an intuitive gift from who? From the Lord or the Almighty. And sometimes I realize that when I don't listen, I suffer. So I always trust my instinct a lot. So feedback for me, even as I'm speaking, sometimes I can be speaking on a stage. I have a big speech. And if I'm looking at the audience and I'm seeing that it's not clocking, I'm using your words now. If I see it's not clocking, I will, sort of be agile enough to try and, improvise. Yes, improvise. So Boost is balanced, owned. I'll come back to it in a minute. I'll look it up in a minute, but it's about feedback. It's online as well. So that's why I mentioned about feedback. Feedback is very, very important. And even when I don't get it, I ask, how did I do? I'm sure you've seen me do it a lot of times. These are just become inherent app habits. And then the last one I feel is there's nothing wrong with failing. It's okay to get things wrong. And I feel it's even a rite of passage. And I think sometimes we beat ourselves up when we don't do things right. We beat ourselves up. I always try and look at what is the lesson? What can I learn from that experience? And make sure, A, I don't repeat it, but make sure I do better. I hope that's 5, have I? Have I given you 5 there? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to be enjoying the event so far. So I've learned a couple of things. Boost, RASI, and there was a third one. There's another acronym, Agile. Yes. No, so all of these are components of frameworks. So various frameworks. The RASI is a framework. Boost is a framework. Agile is, as a matter of fact, is a project management tool as well. Agile for PM people here. So HC, please keep them coming. Okay. That's why we're here. We're here to learn. So I'm going to go to the floor now. I need microphones going around the room. We're going to start from here, then we'll go into the porter cabin. We want this to be a heart-to-heart, ask any question that you think would help you advance your career, your business goals, your dreams. Oh, we have people in the front overflow as well. Okay, so we'll take questions from the front overflow as well. Okay, thank you. If you're ready for your questions, please raise up your hands, and then I'll go around the hall. So I'll take the first three from here. Please, can I get a paper and pen for the Honorable Commissioner so that she can write those questions together and then take them in group? A notebook, you know, okay. I'll take the lady in white first. I think there are two other ladies around here that raised their hand. Yes, so Auntie, are you raising your hand? So let me give you numbers. Lady in white, 1, 2. No, can I see your hands up? Lift it up. It's part of being. Don't hide your. So 2, 3. I'll come back to you, ma. No, 4, 5. I don't want to take 3 people in the same row. So 1, 2, 3. The lady in white, stripes 4. The one in brown 5. Then I'll come to this side. Then I'll come back to you. Yes, don't worry. Okay, give her the mic. Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Your name, what you do, and your questions.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Folashade. It's nice having you here, ma.
Doctor is an aspiration. I will get there by his grace, but I'm an honorable.
Honorary doctor from this.
Okay, my name is Aisha. I'm a business owner and a digital marketer. So I've been in business for quite a while now, but it's been difficult to scale my business due to insufficient funding, even after putting in the work. Now, I would like to explore grant opportunities. So now my question is, I'd like to find out if there are any grant opportunities with higher chances of success for business owners like myself. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to add to your response with the Honorable Commissioner. So recently we had MDG of Smedan here. How many of you were here when Smedan came here? Okay, so you were here too. You collected money that day. I remember you. How many of you collected money when the DG Smedan came? So we're having Bank of Industry as well come. So these are some of other additional funding opportunities in addition to what the Honorable Commissioner has talked about. So there are a couple of federal government funding and financing for startups. After the event, I'll hand you over to somebody as well who can help to access federal funding. But of course, Honorable Commissioner will talk about what's also available in Lagos and all of that. Okay. Number 2.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Ma.
Hi.
Really an honor to have you here. So,
What's your name?
I'm Judith David. Yes, ma'am. So my question is very brief. With everything you've said, it felt like, oh, you had kind of had everything figured out. So I would like to know, were there times you felt tired, like everything wasn't just adding up for you? Maybe you wanted to do something and you didn't know how to figure that out. Were there times you felt like, I don't have things figured out together, and I want to know how you were able to get yourself out from that place to where you are right now. For just those of us that are still trying to figure out, what to do with ourselves, the kind of business to really scale into. And thank you very much.
Thank you. I think another way to say that question is, has Nigeria ever happened to you? Number 3.
You don't want to ask it. Are you shy?
Okay, yes. You're shy, eh? You can ask sitting down if you want to. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go, girl.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Honorable
What's your name?
Folashade. My question is...
Your name and what you do. It's also a good way because you're also here to network. So, you never know who needs your business and services, and then you can connect afterwards.
Okay. My name is Doyin Bakari, and I'm a fresh graduate, and I also have like a startup idea. So my question is, how do we get to write business proposals to investors? Like, what do they actually look out for in those proposals? Because I've written a proposal to apply for TF grants before, and I got rejected. So I think they didn't really see what they were looking for. But then if you ask professionals to write for you, they charge like an outrageous amount for it. So I just want to know.
But you want to collect outrageous money. And you don't want to pay outrageous amount. Thank you, Ms. Bakari. Okay, yes, there was a number 4 there, yes.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. My name is Hannah Kingston. I'm a student and entrepreneur. And I think my question focuses more towards your private life away from business. Growing up, it was either or for us. So it's either you focus on your career, you build something, or you settle down, get married, have kids. And I don't know whether it's just me, but that was always the mentality. You can't have it all. In as much as they say you can, but you can't. So my question to the Honorable Commissioner was, how were you able to balance it all, building such a lengthy, prosperous career, and then maintaining family and motherhood and relationships, yes?
Clock it to that question too. Umbuna, clock it. Don't worry, I'm Gen Z too. Yes, the lady at the back.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jasmine Jibrin. Good morning, Honorable Commissioner, and good morning to the youth leader. My question is, in a society like Nigeria, that is heavily, there's so much masculine power, and you are in a male-driven sector, how do you navigate yourself to actually make a mark? That's my question.
See, I'm looking at you with bombastic side eye. Thank you. How do you survive in an emasculated environment? Thank you. Okay, so I'll take another set from this side. The Honorable Commissioner will answer, and then we'll take another set from the hall, then we'll come back to them. But don't worry, we'll go around, and then we'll go to the overflow. I need one of the wireless microphone cameras to go into the other overflow as well. Okay, and we'll come to this one first. Let me take this side. Can I see your hand on this side? So I give this lady number 1. Raise your hand well now. If they say we should collect money now, your hand will go up very well. So number 1 to this lady here. Number 2 to the lady in red. Number 3, only on one row. Number 3 to that lady. Number 4 to this lady. Okay, at that back, is that my plantain chips friend? Number 5 to plantain chips. And then I'll take this lady last. Okay. Don't worry, I'm coming to you, man. Don't worry. Okay. Let's be fast so that we can take as much questions and have time to interact. And don't forget, we still have like refreshments outside.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, man. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aisha Abdusalam. I am an event planner and also a 9-to-5.
Were you in our event planning training yesterday and the day before?
No, I wasn't. Okay, my question to the Honorable Minister, Honorable Commissioner will be...
Honorable Commissioner, you should claim that one, or just prophesy.
Okay. My question is going to be, how do you keep going, or should I say, how do you scale when you feel you're putting in an effort in the things you're doing, but then it seems like you're not getting results, like you're not being productive? I meant in the private sector as a 9-to-5 in this aspect.
Thank you. Number 2 of that side.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Honorable. Good morning, Ma. So I wrote down my questions so I won't forget any one of them. My name is Ivory Chidi. I'm a virtual assistant, travel consultant, and a part-time content creator. So first, I want to begin with, you made mention of joining communities and volunteering. For someone like me who's been volunteering for over a decade now, I've been volunteering right from university, and I've been in so many communities. Sometimes communities are cost intensive. To be a part of these communities, like the Wimbase, you have to register. So what advice would you give to someone who wants to belong to communities? How do they begin? Secondly, I've volunteered a lot, and I'd like to attend fellowships. Are there some fellowships you recommend? Thirdly, let's say someone is at the point in their life where they feel like there is a huge reset button, and they're literally starting afresh. And let's say they've done a couple of things, and they are at this juncture where they're like, what's the guarantee that if I start afresh, this one is going to scale through? Because you've had a very huge career, and I feel like there are times you had to begin afresh. So how did you handle that stage in your life?
Any other question is $100.
Also, for someone who is a beginner in stock investment, what are the Nigerian and international stock you'll advise the person to invest? And finally, how do one become your mentee? Thank you very much.
All of this you must pay. Okay, so let me quickly comment on that question as well. So you may probably be here for the first time. So let me welcome you to the Nest Resource Center. It's not just the headquarters of the youth wing of Nigeria's ruling party. And part of what we do is connecting young Nigerians, irrespective of your political leaning or affiliation, to what the president is doing and what the government is doing. And we have events like this. We have in the mornings. We had one yesterday, for example, with the MD of Neotor, for young people that want to go into hospitality and tourism, event management, catering, and food and beverage, and hotelier, and all of that. We do a lot of interaction. On this same chair, we've had the Senate President, we've had Governor of Imo, Governor of this and that, speakers, top business leaders, and we do this almost every week. Some week we have like 5 different events. People have come here and won money. They've come here and won jobs. They've come here and won laptops. How many of you won laptop here? Anybody here, one of you that won a laptop in a masterclass? Okay, one person at the back. Okay, who was here when the DG Smithan came? Apart from the money. Okay, you only the money that you collected. We've also had a couple of other agencies. When the Senate President came, there was a young guy, I think it was a copper, that wanted a job. That was the Deputy Senate President, and got a job in National Assembly. So several things. We create a community here. So we're also digitizing our community. We're launching our app. The app is called Sweep. It's going to be available by the end of the week on Play Store, and also on Apple Store, and the next week on Play Store. So you can join our community and be part of that. But to be part of the virtual community, you need either a voter's card or an NIN. So if you don't have, please go and get one. Very important, because it also helps us know who you are, where you vote, and where you are politically. But so I'm saying this because of that leader asked the question of being part of a community. This is one of the first steps. Even being here at this event is one of the series of events. Last week, Friday, exactly a week today, we had a similar event for the International Women's Month. And we had, who was here last week, Friday? No, none of the in-house people. None of you were here. Oh, my God. I love the fact that, okay, yes, Tega, you were here. And who was our guest last Friday? Were you? Yeah, you were at the event in the evening. It was the First Lady of Kwara State. She was with us here last week Friday. So we bring in a lot of people, and we try to create a community where people can network and interact. If not for Ramadan, we usually start our event with like cocktails and stuff and games. So we hope to see you. We hope that you're all in our email database and will be part of what we're doing. We also have fellowships here. We have a fellowship for young farmers. The residential is going to be in April for 1 week in Niger State. We also have another fellowship called the Rising Progressive Leaders Fellowship. The registration for the cohort that is going to camp has closed. The next cohort is going to go, I think, in May, and the registration will open soon. It's one of the highest ranking leadership fellowship in Nigeria. You get to interact with ministers, senior government leaders, the military echelon, to learn about governance and statecraft. So we have a couple of all of those things, and that's the main spirit why we're doing this mixer this morning. We also have internship opportunities and volunteering opportunities. So if you're interested in either interning with us or volunteering with us after your event, just try to see me and, share your details, and I can hand you over to the people responsible for any of the programs I've talked about. So many of the things you're looking for, we also offer them here in abundance by the grace of God. But, oh, yes. Oh, Jumoke was just telling me. This event is also initiated by one of our arms. Stand up, stand up. Jumoke is a focal person. We have what we call the Progressive Young Ladies Forum. We're going to also start the launch of the website. Thank you, Jumoke. You can sit down. The website for the young ladies and the membership program for it. And the membership program for it. So what we are doing with the Progressive Young Ladies Network is to bring a lot of young women together who want to advance in their family life, their career, their social life. When the registration opens, you can join and be part of the network. There'll be events, campaigns, foreign trips, get away holidays to Dubai, where commissioner, after the Iran war, where people like the commissioner can come and train you and mentor you and coach you. Okay, so thank you very much. At this junction, let me hand over to my sister, the Honorable Commissioner for Trade, to respond to the questions.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. Yes? Okay. Thank you for your loaded and very well thought out questions. I've tried to capture as much of it as I can. Aisha, I think, asked the first question. If I paraphrase, it was around overcoming the difficulty to scale. Is that correct? Okay, I think, and also what are the possible grant opportunities? Okay, so I'll sort of raise my hand with a caveat that my jurisdiction is Lagos. My jurisdiction is Lagos, but nevertheless, I feel it can transcend. First and foremost, whatever business you're in, I really don't want to go into the deep dive of businesses, because what I'm about to share, I feel, should apply to anyone. And I go back to what I said about preparation. Even when you have a business, when I remember my first job was strategy. I was head of strategy for a multi-billion-dollar business, or billion naira business in Nigeria called Guinness. And my job was essentially strategy. And one thing I realized early on, strategies are agile. Strategies can be emergent. Emergent is about really understanding the environment and responding to the dynamics of the business environment and making sure that you're agile enough to change where necessary. What do I mean? So whatever business you're doing, you're fulfilling a need or solving a problem, because that's the whole premise of most businesses, isn't it? And I feel that it's important that you go and do your research, understand your target market thoroughly. I remember when I was, we had mass numbers of consumers already. We used to call them consumers in those days. But having said that, ours was really about what is the market share that we want to actually own. And focusing on that market share, what we wanted to ensure is that we kept that market share and started to grow. When you start losing market share, that becomes a problem. And so we went back to the drawing board to evaluate. So again, remember I said about looking inwards as well. You're getting feedback by the fact that you're saying that you're unable to scale. So it's really about going back to the drawing board, doing your research, having focus groups, for instance, if you need to. I don't know what is your business?
Perfumes.
Films.
Perfumes and
Perfumes.
fragrance.
You have all your customers here already now. Do you understand? What is it that they like? I mean, for instance, I love oud. I mean, I love the smell that lingers. You know, trying to understand and focusing on that. Is it the price point? Is the price point affordable? What are my competitors doing and how can I do better? Remember I said always position yourself from a position of best. Training. What training do I need in order to achieve what I want to achieve? Looking inwards. Do you understand? Research. And just focusing, and maybe focusing in a target segment and making sure you're doing it in best. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But one thing I always feel that is very important, because I'm sharing with you some of the things that I had to do. I used to call it wargaming. We'd go out and sort of mimic what our competitors are doing, risk mitigations, etc., etc. I don't know if I'm making a lot of sense. So
More.
That's one of the reasons, and I'm being very candid with yourself as well. Do you understand? Maybe the product that you have, or the way you're marketing it, or maybe the perfume, the customers, we used to call it, when they cover the labels and blindfold you and you do that is one way of doing a test to see and understand, the thoroughness and robustness of your business. But one thing is be resilient. Remember I said about resilient Nigeria, resilient Lagos. We're resilient, keep on at it. Judith asked a question. You wanted to know about my journey? Oh, how long do you have? Okay, well, my journey is very simple. It's rooted in my family. I've been happily married now for, it's going to be 33 years in October this year. Thank you. I'm very clear in my mind that everything I do, family is first. I've actually taken some time out from work sometimes. In fact, when my kids were young, when you're a first-time mom, it was She Tiger Mom, no? But there's this term that they used to use. I think it was Tiger Mom. I literally had on my fridge. They have to do this. They have to do that. Everything was so regimented. And then my second daughter came sooner than I thought. And I realized I needed to take some time out from work, which I did. But when I was out of work, looking after my young kids then, I realized that I was bored. So what did I do? I actually went and did some exams. In fact, specifically financial services exams, and I became a qualified IFA. So even though I was home for a few years with the kids, I was actually earning money, giving financial advice to high net worth women. So I chose, back to your point, I chose my niche, and I focused on that specific target segment. And I was helping them. And then when I did go back to work, I already had that certificate in my back pocket. Towards later years, when I sort of, almost 20-something years later, I actually went back and I went into real estate, trying to also use that. So where am I going? I think it's rooted in my family. It's being very clear that everything that I do, remember I said I had a career in finance. I'm a multifaceted leader. I went into project management financial systems when I moved to PricewaterhouseCoopers. Then I remember, and I went to my boss. I said, I can do this with my eyes closed, management reporting, accounts. I want a challenge, and that's always been how I've grown. And he gave me a challenge. He said, go and redesign the whole management operating system for all the partners in PwC, which was big. And I said, no problem. And I went and started, for me, it was a project. I went and understood what the leaders wanted. I'm looking at you, Madam Aisha. I went to understand what the leaders wanted because they already had a management report. My job was to come in and bring a better one that would be easier for them to understand and faster. And when I understood what they want, I went back and designed it. Then obviously I'm not a coder. I went and got people that had the subject matter expertise and worked with them and produced the reports for them. I enjoyed it so much, so I went and did the financial project management exam. So I became a qualified project manager as well. And then I focused on financial systems. So when you said I went to Ford because I went to give value. So they hired me to be in charge of Europe on financial systems projects. So I did e-pensions. Remember, with my accounts, I brought my accountancy experience to the table. So that gave me an edge over others. I did e-procurement, again, financial systems. Again, I don't know if you're seeing where I'm going. So every trajectory, every role I've taken, I've always made sure I use my previous experience, and it gives me an edge, so I don't come in through the traditional way. Even if when I do, I'll ask, even if it's working, how can it be better? Do you understand? And so over the years, that's always been my I suppose, modus operandi. My journey has really been about me just simply giving my best. I'm not going to tell you that I haven't had my challenges. I think there were some questions framed around, when you're getting to a stage where you're plateauing out. Again, I go back to my faith. I think I haven't mentioned that since morning, but my faith has been a played a huge role in who I am today. That's another thing. Family, faith, benchmarking myself. I see other leaders, and the reason I will use the word leaders is I didn't just pigeonhole it to women. I actually said who are the best, whether it's a man or a woman. I'll stalk them on LinkedIn. I will phone them. I become a professional nuisance until I get that person to ring me back or give me that appointment, and I go and have that conversation. And obviously, before I go, I've done my homework on that person so that when I'm having that time with them, I'm not wasting their time. Do you understand? I'm telling them, this is what I want, and the reason I'm targeting you is because you have that experience. And when you're praising somebody, you get their attention anyway. Do you understand? And that has really helped me over the years. And like I said, it's been hard, it's been interesting, but I've enjoyed the journey. Thank you. Doyin asked a question, how to write business proposals and get a grant, right? Is that your question? How do you write business proposals? Well, first and foremost, what is it you want to achieve? I think it's important. I kept saying it, research. It's almost like I'm sounding like a broken record. It's about really researching. It's about really, there's a lot of resources out there. Bank of Industry is one that I work with very closely. I'm really happy that he mentioned my brother, Charles Odili from Smedan.
I work very closely with him. In Lagos State, we have the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, which is a huge one. In my ministry, I'd love you to give me a call. I'm hoping that I can share my email with all of you. I can share my handle with all of you. Where I can, I'll provide as much resources that we have. But I think most importantly, it's about taking a couple of steps back first. What problem are you trying to solve? Do you understand? Because when I'm writing a proposal, when I'm going into a meeting, when I'm talking to anyone, I will wear the hat of the person I'm going to interface with. So you need to ask yourself, that proposal, that person that is going to read it, what do I want them to know, feel, and do? Do you understand? And when you start to understand it from their psyche, then you can make sure that you're positioning yourself for success. So I think it's not really just about how to write a proposal. What is the problem? What is your unique selling point? Why do you feel that out of 10,000 applications, yours should be the one selected? So research, preparation, problem you're solving, statistics and data that you can actually use to back up your argument. And even if you can, try and do a pilot as well. I don't know if that helps. Does that help? Yeah? Huh? I can't hear her.
Pilot.
Oh, pilot, test, like a test.
Iterate.
Yes, a test. When you're testing, for instance, this bottle of water, before it was produced, they would have done a couple of tests first to make sure that it's actually fit for purpose and can actually, you know, demand a market share in the market. Jasmine, how do I make, too much males in the tech world? Was that your question? Jasmine said, how do I make it in a male-dominated world? Oh, wow. Self-belief. Belief in yourself. Do you understand? As far as I'm concerned, it's a mindset. One thing that I realized when I moved back to Nigeria is that I needed to really change my mindset. And when I say change my mindset, I'm not going for the cliche of is it half empty, half full, or whatever that one is called. For me, it's simply that I don't see obstacles. That's it. So even if there's an actual reason why somebody is blocking what I want to do, I want to achieve whatever it is I want to achieve, if I have a mindset that failure is not an option, I don't see them. As far as I'm concerned, I have self-belief, I've prepared, I know what I want to achieve, and quite frankly, credibility is built on your performance and your consistency in performance. And all those people, yes, they matter. Yes, they matter. But it's important that you need to prove yourself as well. And so keeping on in what you're doing, making sure you're giving it to you, you're doing your best. And yes, finding allies. In those your male colleagues that you're referring to, I can assure you that you'll actually have some allies. We call them he for she's. Do you understand? And being strategic. A lot of them that are achieving what they want to achieve didn't just do it from coming into that boardroom or meeting room. Be strategic. Do you understand? Be strategic. And when you're achieving that, I feel that you'll be able to achieve. But one thing is be confident in what you want to do. Add value. Speak up. Speak up, even if what you're saying is just to say, oh, I'm in the room. And also stand with your women. You know, today, this is International Women's Day. Stand for each other. Okay? Aisha said, how do I keep going? And how do I scale? Even if I'm not getting traction in my 9-to-5 job. Am I correct with that? Questioning. Look, Nigeria, I won't say Rome. Nigeria was not built in a day. Do you understand? And there's another analogy that I like. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Do you understand? And you have to grow organically because that experience along the way will always help you. And I feel that in your 9-to-5 job, be clear on what it is you want to do. I know in the corporate world, consistently, remember I said in the UK there's structure, here there's also structure. I remember always, you know, engaging with HR to really make sure that a lot of the things that I want to achieve are actually recorded. I always made sure that I put myself up I'm visible. Visible. Remember, I mean strategic here. I'm always volunteering. I'm always making sure that I'm noticed by the right people. I'm always making sure that in everything that I want to achieve, I do it well. I also stand for people. Relationships in the workplace also matter. Somebody asked, I think at the beginning, about sponsorship. Let me tell you, give you an example. Sponsorship is about people being able to, you're the leaders that are sponsoring you, speaking about you, recommending you when you're not in the room. And I won't recommend somebody that I don't know that they've been able to achieve or are consistent in their performance. I'll give you an example. The Honorable Minister of Trade and Investment for Nigeria, Dr. Duole, called me and said, Folashade, I want to put in a bid for the Intra-Africa Trade Fair 2027. And I really want to make sure that we win it. So I've already spoken to your boss, Mr. Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, but let's make sure we make this happen. I said, no problem. And so we formed the committee and we got to work. And she called me again that I should recommend somebody to help with all the capturing of the presentations and all the bids and stuff that we need to do. So I looked inward in my network and I came up with a particular lady. And I called her, I said, I'm about to refer you for this role. Remember, it's my reputation on the line here, right? But I referred her because I've known of her and I know she's consistent in her performance. Needless to say, we won the bid. And when Nigeria is going to be hosting the Inter-Africa Trade Fair 2027 and Lagos State is going to be the host. I'm fishing for applause here now. But the real nugget is that the lady that I referred to her, the Honorable Minister has now retained her as a special assistant. Do you see where I'm going here? And so every time I see her, and it was interesting because the time when she hired her, I was, you know, everybody had gotten on. It was actually in the UK. And I saw her with the minister. I said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm now working with. I said, oh, I was so happy for her. I was so happy for her. She resigned. She was the managing director of that consultancy. She resigned from that job because for me, when you're called to serve our beloved nation, is an honor. I'm really honored when I was appointed to serve as commissioner. But the main point is that she was consistent, very young, but she obviously had worked her way. And I think organic growth is very important. So don't just feel, you know, everybody's race is their own race. Do you understand? I'm not looking at anybody, oh, that person has achieved this. My own race is my own race. I know where I'm going, which is where I said also about having clarity of purpose. Do you understand? And also enjoying what you're doing as well. In my case, my trajectory, success is not a linear line. I just told you I graduated in finance. I became a financial systems project manager. I now went into change management and transformation. I really enjoyed that and I stayed in that space because I literally was able to leverage all my multifaceted experience and go that way. A lot of my colleagues, some of them are still chartered accountants, some of them are still project managers. Do you understand? So run your own race. How IBTC or some, I think that was a name I called. How do I belong to an uplifting community? She had, Ivory. 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 Okay, Ivory, sorry. You asked loaded questions. How do I belong to an uplifting community? You're already in one. Abby? Absolutely. You're already here. You've met me. Lovely. I'd love you to join WIN, Women's Inspiring Impact Network. I presume everybody here is on LinkedIn. That's a global community. I really encourage all of you to leverage it. I leverage it a lot. Uplifting is a definition that only you know. What is your definition of uplifting? In my case, it's about seeing other people that I have worked with grow. And I think it's important that you define that. Fellowship to join, interesting question. I think only you can answer that, fellowship to join, but I believe that in my case, I have just surrounded myself with women that resonate with who I am, who resonate with my values, and also I admire. Reset button, how do I reset? You know when to reset. Remember I said listen in, listen to your inner voice. I think that's something that you have to cultivate as a habit. I have hit the reset button many times, but what has enabled me to hit my reset button many times is my family. Remember I said that's my anchor. So I think your network is really important. Reset button is important because well-being, mindfulness, work-life integration are very important parameters that you should all pay attention to. You know when you're getting to burnout. When I first got appointed, let me give you an example. When I first was appointed, I was so enthused, excited, and proud of, you know you can be proud of yourself, you know that, right? Proud of myself that in the whole of Lagos, it's me they called to come and lead the ministry. And it was also me that Mr. Governor called, and Mr. Deputy Governor as well called. So it was two of them that called and said that they're going to bring investment into that ministry, which is a huge responsibility because Lagos State is economic, financial, and commercial capital of Nigeria. So that was a big responsibility. For my first year, I didn't take a holiday. And the second year, I was like, oh dear, I think I need to just pause a little here because I realized I was getting to burnout. And I did intentionally take some time out to go and reset and come back refreshed and ready to carry on. Advice on the international stock market and investment. Okay, fortunately, you're speaking to someone who's actually a qualified IFA. And one thing I do know is that you have to have your current license to be giving financial advice. I don't have a current financial license, but one thing I do know is that you know your appetite for risk. So define what your appetite for risk is, and then tailor what you want to do from an investment standpoint in that regard. Also, make sure that your portfolio, I'm trying not to give a finance, I'm doing it now, aren't I? Make sure your portfolio is balanced. Do you understand? So don't put all your eggs in one basket. So for instance, I invest and encourage real estate investment, but also I encourage obviously stock markets, startups. I'm an angel investor, so I invest in angels, particularly women startups. And also make sure that you are aware of the fact that there's no guarantee. So always know how much money you're prepared to lose and have your baseline. So don't invest what you cannot afford to what? To lose. To lose. Become my mentee. I would love to, I hope everybody here is registered. I'd love to continue talking to you. I'm actually going to send you, because all those questions you sent to me, I actually answered all of them. And I really feel it's important that you all read it. So I'm going to send it to you. And maybe if you set up a WhatsApp platform, or if you have one, I will share it there. And hopefully, when you put your questions there, I'll try my best to be, maybe when I'm on the plane or something, I can answer all of your questions. And my handle is at Folashade Ambrose.
Yes, we've projected that on the screen. Can you do that one more time again, just briefly, for those who didn't take notice when we were projecting that on the screen? Okay, it's back on the screen, so please follow.
I hope I was able to answer.
Oh, you did, and we're going to take the last batch of questions. Okay, for those in the hall, huh? She didn't answer your, what was your?
Yeah, wait, sorry, I didn't answer yours. I didn't get it. Pardon? How do I...
Remind, yes, say. Say it again. She mentioned it. She did.
How was I able to balance family life and work life? I simply had a very simple framework. You know, I like my frameworks. And it's called work-life integration. First and foremost, I enjoy what I do. I think that's really important. It's important that you enjoy what you do. Second, I have a very happy home. My husband is my best friend. He is my rock. And
clock it for the husband.
And he really tolerates me a lot. So when I come home, I'm complaining, I'm celebrating, he's there all through. Whether it's celebrating, complaining, crying. Yes, I've cried. You know, sometimes you have those days when you're just like, oh, wow, I think I can't carry on. My children, I'm really delighted that they've grown into 3 young, beautiful women, so they're my pride and joy. Remember I said I've really made sure that my balance. I'm very particular with my job. I don't just apply, because you know when you're in the corporate sector, you apply for jobs, right? I always make sure I look at the company, understand the philosophy of the company. Is this job going to take me to where I want to be? And I invest in myself. Remember, I talked about investing in courses. We know the amount of training that I didn't wait for any company to train me. I went and did the training myself. I just told you I stalked people on leaders on LinkedIn. I did it. I became a professional nuisance. I was very strategic. I'm very, very strategic in what I do. And visibility is key. And quite also, frankly, is find your role models. Where do I want to be in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? Who is that person that is there? How did that person get there? Where am I now? Do your gap analysis. I hope I've been able to answer you. Thank you.
Thank you. So quickly, I'm going to go to the Porter cabin, take a couple of questions here, then we'll go to the other overflow in the front. Like I said, we have opportunities for volunteering, internship, and if you have IT skills and you like to be part of what we're doing, the opportunities as well. Just see me after the event. Okay, so we're in here. I have 1, the lady in yellow 2, the lady in a dotted eye top 3, there 4, 5, 6, that's all. Okay. One question.
Good morning, Ma. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity.
What's your name?
Faith Alidino. And this question, well, I have to ask it. For someone, by the and attended a lot of conferences in Abuja, I've noticed that many of the key contributors to socio-economic policies and development in Nigeria appear to be individuals who studied or spent time abroad. Does this suggest that local Nigerian degrees are undervalued in shaping national policy leadership? And is there an opportunity that this community, this center puts together to actually send us abroad if they feel like our degrees are not actually valued? And another thing is, there's often advice for clarity in purpose, but there are some of us that are multifaceted. We want to do a lot of things at the same time. We want to build career, we want to start businesses, we want to contribute to public policies and possibly how do we do that?
Thank you.
Can I answer that one? I really need to. That one is. I have to answer that one. Can I?
Yes, please.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I want to dispel that myth. To all of us in the room, I believe we're all proudly Nigerian. I didn't hear the applause, though. And I think it's incredibly important that, yes, mine was, the reason I had a majority of my education was simply because I was born there. But having said that, I am delighted that I now live here. I live here, my kids come here a lot and they're looking forward to coming home. In fact, my middle daughter has asked me, Mommy, I want to come back home to work, live and play. So I think it's important when you say about local degrees being undervalued, I need to dispel that myth. Everywhere in the world today, okay, let me rephrase that. Everywhere where great things are happening across the world today, you find a Nigerian. Yes, fact or not? That's a fact. And it's not an accidental fact. It's a fact that we Nigerians, wherever we are, we excel. And needless to say, even though I'm, based or was, did a lot of my career in the UK, I'm actually a proud Nigerian. So I really want to state that fact. I think, is it the University of Lagos? You have the Lagos Business School. Sorry, I'm a Lagosian, so I have to give my Lagos examples. Are world-class institutions. You have the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, which is an incredible think tank that I work with as a ministry. You have the Nigerian Institute of Policy Strategic Studies, I think. NIPS is another world-class institution. You have, I can go on WIMBIS. These are another, institutions whereby you have a collection of outstanding women leaders. So I really want to dispel that myth about our education. Our education and our people were outstanding, and we have demonstrated all over the world where we are. I feel that I really needed to say that. So we're not undervalued at all. So I really want that to, you do understand? Just when they say press delete, in that mind, press delete, that myth needs to be, removed. The other, when you talked about wanting to do a lot, well done. That's a unique selling point of us women. We're so multifaceted. We take on so much. We do a lot. But having said that, remember what I said about importance of clarity of purpose. Mine is about inspiring best in myself and others. And it cuts across so many spheres. So I think it's important that you define and understand and then own what your purpose is. And it's simply about asking yourself some questions. I call it the 5 whys. Who am I? Why am I who I am? Why does this matter to me? Why, until you can get to the core. They say that when you're peeling an onion, you get to the core. When you're eating an apple, you get to the core. Do you understand? And then the other part of it is your values. My value is simple. Treat people the way I'd like to be treated. So when you fuse the two together, you essentially know who you are. Do you understand? So when you're now identifying those areas that you want to play in, irrespective of whether they're numerous, you are coming from a basis point. I don't know if I've been able to make sense to you. Yes? So when we say we're proudly Nigerian, we're proudly Lagos, and we're proudly about making sure that we're being the best. Yes, and our education is also the best. So I really needed to really dispel that. I didn't want it lingering in our minds as we're going along. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me also quickly add to, clap for the information now. So let me quickly add to that, yes, here we believe in foreign exposure, not foreign education. Yes. So even though I, like the Honorable Commissioner, also grew up in England and have some foreign background. The reality is that we also believe not in the education, but in the exposure. That you go there to different parts of the world and you see things and you come back home to contribute to how things will be better. I moved back to Nigeria about 8 years ago, and the reason I moved back was because I wanted to see a better country. And that's why I also got into politics, ran for office to be chairman of my local government, and the rest is history. I'm contributing to development at the national level. So we believe, of course, that Nigeria is the best place you can ever be in the world. We also then think that it's important that you go out sometimes, see things from another perspective. Because one of the things actually that happens is a lot of Nigerians come in this country, blah, 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 and there's always a plane full every day coming into Nigeria of whites and expatriates coming to invest in the economy. So sometimes you need to go out and see things and then come back to now have that kind of boldness and courage to be able to take some bold steps. So what you probably see is that people have gone out and they've... When I was in uni, I would call my lecturers, hey, hi, Tom Craig, Williams Bart, oh, hi, Williams, how are you? So you're trained to be courageous, you're trained to be bold, you're trained to be confident, but sometimes here you're told that you are a child, you cannot speak in the room when the adults are speaking. I remember in South London when we're dealing with issues around migrant African children coming into the UK, and they were getting arrested because they were looking guilty. So if police stops you in Peckham, for example, and you were looking down in that kind of culture, for example, means that maybe you've done something wrong or you're guilty. But in Nigeria, it's a sign of respect. You understand? It's humility for us. But there you have to be bold and courageous. You cannot call your lecturer by first name in Nigeria. You're going to repeat that course. But in London, you can't call them sir. Some of them will even feel awkward. Why are you using a sir for me? So there's a level of courage that you're trained with growing up or living in that environment. And so part of what we believe is, last year, about 20 of our youth, my essays, some of our staff here were sent to China. Where's Nai? Where is Amaka? Please stand up. at least she's our chief of staff here, and in working with us, she's been to Dubai for the conference, Commonwealth conference COP27. You were in Ghana when we went to understudy the youth wing, and last year you were in China to understudy their political parties. Our HR too, Nai, is Nai here? Nai also joined us last year, and to the glory of God, she was in China in November for an extra, about 20 of our people. And every year we send some of our young people, but those are those who invest and work with us, who volunteer with us, who serve over time, and we've seen their value, to expose them so that they can come back and replicate what they have seen to what we're doing back here. So, you know, we are talking about community, sending you on scholarship, and you're going to have to apply for UBEC for that one. Number 2, please. Yes, I think...
everyone, my name is Mary Adoga. So, I have 3 questions, basically. The first one is, as an entrepreneur trying to scale from this crash, especially us that don't even have any financial support from anywhere, you are trying to push from this crash, and it's not really been easy. So how can we get this business mentorship, like education about business, and even open our eye to more things that we don't know about, and business support? Then the second one is, I actually graduated as a geologist, and I would like to go into project management, which I have taken some certification on. So I want to ask if there is a platform or an organization which we can do internship with or volunteer with, so that we can contribute our knowledge or what to know.
Thank you.
Then the third one is...
One question. Oh yeah, rapid, fast.
Okay, so like me now, I did not belong to any political party.
So we'll sign you up with APC today.
So we like to belong as a woman and...
Clock it! See me after the event. So Jumoke, we need to speak after to see how this particular audience, and I'm happy that every of our events have different audiences. It's not the same people, and that's the joy of what we do. To see how we can bring them together into a community in our community, you know, and then see how we can enhance. But that's part of why we have the Young Ladies Network, and we're going to see how... Yes, take our details as well, and see how we can also enhance. Because, like I said, we do a lot of trainings to help startups to grow. Just 2 days ago and yesterday and 3 days ago, we had programs for those that wanted to go into those sectors in hospitality and tourism. But beyond that, we also have different programs that we do beyond even the Young Ladies Network. So if you really, apart from being generally involved, if you want to be specifically involved in what we're doing, maybe you want to volunteer, you want to intern, wait behind and I'll meet with you guys, and then we can take your details and see how. And if you want to be part of our Progressive Young Ladies Network as well, we'll see how we can get you into what we're doing. Number 3.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Honorable Commissioner. My name is Florence Duru. I'm a real estate consultant and advisor. As a young woman who aspired to go into politics early and serve the public, beyond education, what practical skill and values should young women cultivate before entering politics? And how can young women prepare themselves for leadership roles in governance? Another question is, how can young women build resilience in the face of criticism, public scrutiny, and political pressure? How can young women also create their own leadership identity instead of simply replicating existing models? So, what kind of political culture do you hope your generation of women, or the generation of women to come, will build?
Sorry, the last question again. Culture what?
What kind of political culture do you hope your generation of women will build?
Can we put that question to one question because of time? Just one question. That's number 1. Number 2, we're going to get a sheet of paper. Okay. I know that we already have the attendance of those who came today, but for those specifically, we'll also pass your paper around, and then we can take your name and your phone number. Then I'll also speak to you guys at the end. Okay. Yes, the next person, I think there's a lady over there.
Good morning. Jesus. Good morning, everybody. Sorry about my voice. So my question is, as a young lady...
What's your name?
Oma Jeff. So as a young lady aspiring to go into a particular business, are you limited to just approaching other successful women or for mentorship and sponsorship, or it's okay to learn from anyone regardless of gender? Then my second question is, how can young ladies overcome the pressure of harassment from the opposite gender, especially in the corporate world? As a realtor, if you're a realtor here as a female, you know what we face daily on this job. So how do we overcome that? Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's the last one from here.
Okay.
Number 5 is here. Okay. Sorry, I almost forgot.
Do you want me to kick up?
Just one last one from here.
Good morning. Good morning. No protocols. My name is Digi Joy, and I'm in not like real estate, but construction, civil, oil and gas. So in this sector,
So what's your name?
Digi Joy. When I represent my company for bid opening and all, with a lot of crowd there, we happen to be only 2 ladies and 3 ladies. When we want to, represent our company, we're being asked, oh, I thought you came with someone, somehow looking down on female, like to say, oh, this is not your sector. Like maybe we came to assist someone. Meanwhile, we are also there as an entity, as an individual to represent our company. So this incident happens often, to the point that when you're trying to strike a deal, they don't see you as, in quotes, they don't see you as man enough to handle the man's business. So how do we tend to navigate through that part? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So I'm going to hand over to the Commissioner to respond to this ones while I go to the overflow on the other side with the other camera.
Okay. Go down. All right. You want me to answer these ones? Lovely. Mary, thank you for your question. How do you scale was what you were asking me about. I think you asked me about 3 questions, but I'll try and tackle them one by one. Well, I think it's about identifying what your unique selling point is. Also about being innovative in your approach. I'll give you an example. Can you hear me? I'll give you an example. A lot of the business member organizations that I work with in Lagos, and when I say business member organizations, the majority of them are actually comprising of women, and they're nanopreneurs. What do I mean? They have just small businesses, and they want to scale. And one of their biggest impediments is access to affordable finance, not having really good training on how to market their products, and also really about having the exposure. And so I realized early on that we needed to work with them to provide a platform for them to scale. But there needed to be certain standards and criteria first. Abi? So what the criteria we actually asked them to ensure that they were able to do is to ensure that they had international standards. So nowadays, a lot of businesses you can do, if you know how many people I've patronized from Instagram when they're selling their markets, some of them and their businesses are all over Nigeria, but they've been able to leverage technology. And we all know that technology and digital technology now is a huge, huge opportunity. A lot of them don't understand how it works, and it's something that if you leverage it, you can ensure that works. FinTech, also ensuring you're setting yourself up for success, so you have the right payment platforms in order for you to do business. It's called FinTech. I'm sure you're all aware of that as well. Also about thinking beyond borders, making sure that your product can stand anywhere in the world. And so again, I called it the Lagos State Export Readiness Program. And what we did was we set certain criteria, we supported them, and we made sure that they're able to set up for success. So I'm giving you this as an illustration. Think beyond borders, set yourself up by making sure you're able to do your business digitally, and also ensure that you are, your business is actually solving a unique need and is very competitive across many parameters. So for instance, we used to call it mystery shopping. Go and see what your competitors are doing and make sure when you're doing yours, you're doing it very, very well. Business mentorship obviously all matters as well. I've just told you now what I will do, and I'm committing to doing that, is making sure that if I have all your details, what I'm doing and sharing with a lot of our stakeholders in Lagos, I'll make sure I'll be putting it on this platform as well so that you too can also leverage from that. No applause? We have to encourage each other. Geologist, she said she is, and she's interested in project management. I think that's something you can come and speak to me about individually. I'll give you as much steer. I'd need to understand what you have done so far. And obviously, I can help you in that regard because that was something I've practiced for over 15 years as a project manager. But one thing I do know is it's important that you do get the certification and understand the right frameworks to use and carry on from there. And I'm delighted. She said she wants to become part of APC. I'm a proud, can you see my, I don't know if you can see it. You can see it, Abby. I'm a proud card-carrying member, and I'm really delighted that I am, because quite frankly, I want to make sure that I'm also playing a good part. So welcome to the party. And any questions, we have a women leader. We have a local woman leader in Lagos State. I'm pretty sure we have one here in Abuja as well. So as you heard, Honorable Israel Dayo said that he will also work with you on that. Clarence has also political aspirations. I hope I'm answering her questions. What are the practical skills to cultivate before entering politics? Oh, wow, that's a very good question. I think only you know that. When you're applying for a job, take it as you're applying for a job, you actually have to stop, think, evaluate, and know how to answer all the questions. And not only answer those questions, compete. Because you know whoever is going to be reading that is reading how many applications. So you need to amplify and demonstrate with evidence of the value that you're bringing and the performance and results you've been able to achieve. And also because you also know specifically the reason why you're applying is because you know you're bringing value and you expect to be in an environment where you can do that. That is part of why when I joined APC, I realized that I can bring value. Case in point, prior to joining, I volunteered my time when Baba, Mr. Executive Governor of Lagos State, was campaigning for his second term. But I knew specifically that in my bringing value, I needed to bring it in the area where I had experience. Am I connecting? Am I clicking? And what I did was I focused on a certain area, and I realized that my experience was more framed around helping to help with fundraising. And we created BOS Meets the Community website. I made sure I brought in the subject matter experts that could build the website. I made sure I tried to understand from a Themes Plus, which was his development agenda, certain areas of where he had achieved in his first dispensation, and I made sure that I was able to deliver value in that regard. So do you understand that part of what I came in is I started to deliver value. So I think that's another important part when you're asking what are the skills to cultivate. Cultivate the skills you currently have and enhance them. Resilience, surviving criticism. I love that question. Good afternoon, sir. You're most welcome. For me, I have a simple modus operandi. Number one, my mom, and I hope I'll say it in English, but I'm Yoruba. I'll say it, the richness of our proverbs in Yoruba is very, very important. My mom used to say, Folashade Bada Ambrose Medebem. Tension is okay. What we mean is that when we are sleeping, you cannot put your head all in the same direction. So when I'm working, not everybody agrees with me, and I don't agree with them. Sometimes you say, I agree to disagree. It's okay. But if you believe in what you're trying to drive, continue moving. That's part of resilience, number one. Number two, criticism also comes. Sometimes it comes from a position of envy, it comes from a position of jealousy, and it comes from a position of pure, undiluted self-interest. Again, that's okay. And I don't respond. I don't sit down and start debating. I let my work speak for me. Do you understand? So when I have delivered, remember I said clarity of purpose. I told you about my leadership stand, which is inspiring best in myself and others. I just told you I was asked in my first job when I moved back to Nigeria was to go and stand in front of over 800 salesmen who are rowdy and do not care. They're not political. They will just say it as it is. If I'm not saying sense, they would have walked me out off the stage. I went and prepared. Do you understand? And I came back. And I resonated with them because I spoke the language. I knew exactly what they needed. And my job as the head of strategy was to ensure that they go armed with the tools and the energy and the drive to deliver on what they want. Again, that's resilience. And finally, I don't respond to criticism, like I said. I perform. And I always let that do the talking. I hope I've been able to answer that. Thank you. Omar asked, I'm aspiring for greatness. How is it okay to learn from a woman and a man? I think that's a rhetorical question. My journey, over 30 years now, has been a combination of both. I just told you that in my quest for greatness, for success, for performance, I said I stalked strangers on LinkedIn. I became a professional nuisance. Why? Because I really knew that this is where I want to be. Who is actually there right now? And LinkedIn is a global tool to do that, isn't it? It transcends geography. And then I continue stalking that person. Even I'll look through the network. Ah, that's somebody that knows somebody. Being introduced also helps. And the level of the person that introduces you also helps. And so I did a lot of that in order to my quest. And I also mentioned that success is not a straight road. I just showed you that it can be zigzags. Do you understand? And I also mentioned that your road to success is yours. Run your own race. Do you understand? So I hope that answers your question. And another one that resonates very, very personally to all women. I didn't get her name, but in fact, the lady that, I don't think I even need her name. She said, how do you overcome harassment? I'm getting harassed daily in my place of work. How do I tackle it? You know, I told you I have a platform called Women's Inspiring Impact Network. And that was a question that came up repeatedly. And I will say just 2 words: zero tolerance. Can we all repeat that? Now, zero tolerance means you don't accept it. Do you understand? But also, I also mentioned to you about being what? Strategic in your thinking, strategic in your actions, and also making sure that you are not at a disadvantage just because you have declared zero tolerance. Do you understand? There's a tribe out there, and there's a tribe called women. We stand with each other. Do you understand? And I mentioned, find within your sphere of influence those women that will stand with you. And I told you that my jurisdiction is in Lagos, but in this case, it's everywhere. Do you understand? And I'm a mother of, yes, I'm clicking, oh. I'll be clocking, remember, you know, clocking. So zero tolerance. Speak up, speak up, speak up. You have our national youth leader here, and I know he's standing with me when I say zero tolerance. Abi? And I think it's important that when you understand that, don't worry, we are together, okay? And it's all on a case-by-case basis. And final question I had is DG Joy. How to handle, I think I got the gist, so I'm going to paraphrase your question. How to handle being looked down on in the office when men or colleagues, can be women sometimes, don't believe that you are going to be able to get the job done. remember I talked about self-belief. You also defined resilience. We've all been there. It's called rite of passage. I told you preparation, preparation, preparation. Do you understand? When you believe in what you are doing and you've given it all your best, why not continue? I said, I won't say Rome. Nigeria was not built in a day. Do you understand? Credibility is key. So it's all rite of passage. Do you understand? But when you are resilient and you know that what you're about to do, just keep on, speaking up, doing what you are doing, and continuing. Like I said, it's your own pathway. I'm speaking from experience because as you're speaking to me, I'm sort of going back in memory lane, down my own memory lane. Yes, there have been tears. Yes, there have been failures. Yes, there have been some battles. Yes, I've picked some of my battles. Some battles I've just allowed to go. Do you understand? It's for you to define that as far as you're concerned. Remember, my leadership stand is inspiring best in myself and others. So continue, and you will get there. I hope I'm being very candid here. And I felt that I really need to tell you the realities of success. Thank you. Finished? Or more? Oh, there's more? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Commissioner. Honorable Commissioner, I have one small favor. Okay. So we're taking the last question from that hall. Okay. I want to give them the honor of having you actually sit with them for a second. So we'll come back here. They'll show you on the screen. They'll show them on the screen. Let's have the Honorable Commissioner go into the over. Okay, yeah, they're showing it there. So we're coming over there. Okay, I brought her to you people. Are you excited? Okay, so where are the questions we have here? So I'll take 1, 2. Okay. So, yeah. That meaning black number 4. Okay. Okay. Number 1. Yeah.
My name is Tayo.
I think you should try mine.
Immediately, I say I look forward to seeing you when I saw your picture on Instagram that you're coming today. So, actually, I've been here before. My Instagram handle is Shanty Love Nigeria. I'm into, so I just to present it to you. I served here. Oh. So our aim is actually to reduce toxicity in home. Okay, so it's an eco-friendly. So, encourage. I'm a mom of twins. I am currently doing in public health. I'm a microbiologist, and I give back to the society through my skill empowerment program. So I empower people every year through my free skill empowerment program. So my is I want to start my own skill empowerment center. So I don't know if I need to write a proposal. I need collaboration. I need partnership. I need fund. So and I've been here before. I've trained here. I've trained on a scented candle. That I don't know if you remember. That day you really empowered a lot of youth. I wanted to clap for Honorable Dayo once again. And after the training that day, I came as a facilitator. He empowered the youth. He even gave them equipment to start immediately. So when I saw that I have a program here today, I was very free. So I said, let me come. I just want to appreciate you. And I said I want to, I don't know if I can volunteer in any way to continue to be one of your facilitators.
Commissioner will take note of that question. Please wait after the event, my sister, and then we can speak more in further. Thank you so much. Number 2.
Morning. Everybody, can you hear me? So my name is and I am trying to focus on travel.
Do you want to come outside? I think the distance of the microphone, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
So my question is, what mindset confidence and keep confident and keep going through the process? You know, it's shaky. I'm shaking now. Inside, I'm trying to make a name for myself in this.
Did you come for a travel training? Oh, I should have come.
It's, you know, to navigate, and the discipline also can keep me going to navigate.
Okay, thank you. What mindset, attitude keeps you going now that you've taken the bold step of sacking your boss? Number 3 was somewhere over there. Yes, yes. Yeah.
Morning, Ma. Hi. My name is. Okay. So I have 2 questions. In society and involvement in politics on the home front with your career, what advice would you give to young women who leadership or politics while still building a stable home? The second question is, I have a 3-month business, startup, perfume, lip glosses, conditioner. How do I move from a small side hustle to a brand people would actively search for while still in university, 18 years old, and who think being young a disadvantage?
So, Amaka, I think we need to specifically, many of the young women who are here today who have business ideas, we have done stuff with Smedan, we've done with Neotor, and there's another agency. We need to see how we can collate those entrepreneurs specifically. Not everybody is in business, but those ones that have those small businesses, let's see how we can push them to either Smedan or BOI to help them find some seed funding that they can use. And then I know under the City Boy Renewed Hope thing that we're doing, there might be some, because like in Imo tomorrow, we're sharing laptops and phones to people. We're going to come back to Abuja as well. There's some of those opportunities that we would have. I'm seeing more questions about how can people access funding. So Amaka, let's do something about it, and Jumoke. Thank you. Okay, over there. Okay, yes, my sister by the wall. Yes, please come. Sorry, because of the distance of the mic from the back hall.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ada Joseph, a real estate agent. I actually have 2 questions. So the first one is, as women, our energy fluctuates during the months. Like, how do we stay consistent in business during low energy, like periods like the luteal phase? What system or routine have you stayed consistent even when motivation is low? Because sometimes that luteal phase is like your world is crashing and it's crazy. It's crazy.
You want to walk into that question?
And my second question is, what structural change do you believe Nigeria needs most right now to make it easier for young women to build scalable businesses? So that's it.
I think that's the last one from here. Okay, that Ajia, yes, I remember her.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Honorable Commissioner. Sorry. My name is Musana Jamila, and I want to backstory to why I'm asking the question. I was one time the vice president of my school. One time, National Association of Nigerians, Gawa, some challenges that me like stepped out of leadership completely. Do meeting around 1 a.m. The fear of there's like sexual harassment from upper offices, different challenges that makes it hard for women to strive in leadership. And for this reason have made a lot of women involve themselves in leadership, the fear of like pressure and everything. And I kind of lost interest somehow. But after a while, I realized some of the things that the present women in the leadership are doing, we that step back can actually do more. We have the capacity to do more. But due to some of the experience we had with some of top people in office, we kind of lost interest. So what advice will you give to us that have kind of lost interest due to pressure and some of the things that have happened in office?
Thank you. The last question.
Everyone.
One.
Okay, one. My name is Halima Muta. And you actually answered the first question from the explanation you give, both of you, to know why you people called us here and what was the plan for. But somehow you've answered. Thank you for that. And okay, my main question is, I have a few businesses, agriculture company, an international agriculture company, and we are into export of heavy farm equipment to neighboring countries, and that platform has opened my eyes to a lot of things. I've been in rooms that I negotiated with a lot of people that I thought I can never, measure up to, or even stand in a room like that to talk. And then recently, I established my own business. I started a real estate agency, also a travel and tourism agency as well. And I just completed my program.
Yeah.
For someone like you, I know that there were so many challenges when you started.
Are you sure she came from London? No.
The part of story that has to do with Nigeria. It's been a year, and sometimes when I talk about my projects and the things I do, people look at me and say, "You are too young for this. This is what billionaires do. These are the kind of projects that people who have money dare to do," and all that. And sometimes it gets to me, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm the type of person that is so stubborn that I will still put my head
long and short, you have coconut
into these things. So I just want to know, with all of these things I've mentioned, plus a side business that I own, I sell wigs. If there is real estate opportunity, I key in. Travel and tourism, I key in, and all that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's too much, or should I continue? Because sometimes I get,
scared.
Not scared, but these negative comments back to me.
Thank you. Okay, that's me all, but somebody has a positive comment. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Hi everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, ma'am. I love what you wear. You look amazing. My name is Tamad Mode, and I'm a fashion entrepreneur and also work with a brand called Loni, and we do female outfits. And men's outfit too.
My own is free. Whatever you sold for her, my own is the commission.
Well, maybe when she comes to the office, I would have something for
And you
her.
already know she's going to come to the office.
Definitely.
Mm.
Okay. My question is, I've been to so many seminars like this. I've been one of the participants in Stella Okutete's foundation. And my issue here is I've tried to like follow up because we have this community where young women meet. But the thing is, I find it hard that because most times they don't carry us along. They don't carry us along. So I want to know what are the things or how can you help young women like us, because we don't have connections, we're just starting and struggling at the same time. How can you help us, you know, if you're having an event or how can you help us like...
Thank you. Yes, you said it perfectly. Please give every one of yourselves a big round of applause. Yes, I'm going to hand over to the Commissioner now. Thank you all for your questions. Over to you, Ma.
Thank you very much. Great questions. And I'll try my best to answer them as best as I can. Olatunji asked about the Skill Empowerment Center. Did I capture that? Yes? And I just have 3 words: do it. She and I was really receptive to that. Is that it's called Carpe Diem, seize the opportunity. When she stood up, what did she do? She stated the name of her brand. She came up, she showed us her brand. You see, opportunities, when they come, you seize it. You understand? She has realized that those that succeed, we often call them the 1%. Do you understand? Now that I remember, I can assure you that when I come back again, and I know I'm going to come back again, maybe to talk about something specific, because I've picked up a theme here, and I'll have that conversation with you. But one thing that I know is that amongst everyone, I certainly will remember her. Do you understand? So the lesson I want all of you to take from that is seize moments. Do you understand? Just do it. And quite frankly, nobody is going to give you a guide sheet or a guideline. Figure it out. And you have good packaging. And you have good packaging as well. So all I will say to you is do it. In terms of what specifically you need to do to set up your empowerment, look, list it out. We'll figure it out together. Show you that you have my ear. I've already stated here today that I'm hoping I can set up a platform, and I will certainly make sure within this jurisdiction and Lagos State jurisdiction, I'll try to bring some colleagues can come onto this platform and support as well. Eze Juliet, well done. She just resigned to focus on her passion. Is that correct? Can we give her a round of applause? That takes courage. That takes belief. That takes self-confidence. And quite frankly, it resonates quite frankly with me as well, because I've done that too. It's scary, but guess what? I always tell my team, everywhere I go, to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That is where growth happens. And yes, you'll say, oh, I don't know, but you have belief and you know that you're going to get there. So you've already got the essential ingredients in place. You said what is needed. I've just shared it with you. Mindset is one. Self-belief is another. I don't see obstacles. That's what I mentioned that earlier when I was talking. I simply don't. That doesn't mean there aren't obstacles. There are, but I choose not to what? To see them. And as a result of that, even when I'm speaking to my team or my boss or anybody, because when I think about decisions being made in the private sector, where I have considerable experience in excess of almost 30 years, and then I moved, this is my first job in the public sector. It was scary, very, very scary. Why was it scary? Simply because the scale of the responsibility is much, much bigger. In the private sector, we make decisions based on targets, objectives, and performance. Yes, we make those decisions in the public sector, but we have a multiple plethora of stakeholders. I'm illustrating for a reason.
For instance, Mr. Governor has just approved the Lagos State Industrial Policy, 2025 to 2030. That is not just a policy that comes from my ministry. I have to engage with my colleagues in different ministries. I have to identify all the stakeholders. I have to go to the private sector. I have to ensure that even from a legislative, the Lagos State House of Assembly, that they're going to also approve it. And most importantly, the impact is going to have on millions of Lagosians. So you can see where that is that's scary. Do you understand? But quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, come back, I in that policy about fourth time to our EXCO for it to be approved, and it's come back again and again with feedback. Remember, I also talked about the importance of feedback. When you're driving a car, your front mirror, you have your side mirror, but guess what? You still have blind spots. Fact? Yes. And it's important that those blind spots as well, by the way, even though you know you have blind spots, you don't actually know what they are. But you get to understand I'm using that analogy on the experience, so we know all the stakeholders and all the people that we need to do. There's still, what I'm just saying is self-confidence is important. Growth only happens when you're uncomfortable. For best, what you need to achieve, who is the best business, what you're trying to achieve, whether it's global, and I'd love it to be global. Where are you now? And do your gap analysis. I hope that makes sense. Hajaya, did I get that right? Hajara? With my position, I loved your story when you talked about with your position, and well done. She stepped up, representing us. Give her a round of applause. You said, with my position, you're talking about my position in politics and leadership. How do I balance my career and advice? Work-life integration is how I've done that. Simple. I mentioned it earlier, so I won't go into that again, but I do know that I'm anchored. I have a very good home. I have clarity of purpose. I told you about that. I also enjoy what I do. I also ensure that even when there are obstacles, I don't see them. I also set audacious objectives. I love trailblazing. I love challenging myself. I love challenging my team. I love seeing my success sort of cascade, or should I say percolate down. Export branding. Did you ask a question around export branding? I wrote that down. I don't know why. Oh, yes, I said set export boundaries. Transcend the current markets that you have and leverage digital. Competence is key. Adjoa Joseph is in real estate and wants to know how to be consistent in terms of effort, energy, drive. Is that correct? Am I correct with that? I think it's really, I'm just trying to find the right analogy that will resonate quite well. Re-energizing yourself, knowing when to stop, start, and continue, being candid with yourself, having and surrounding yourself with a tribe that really is what you. I always say that it's important to have friends for a season, friends for a reason, and friends for a lifetime. That makes sense because you're growing. As you're growing, that's something that you need to be cognizant of. I found that for me, I seek it when I know I need to just take some time out and re-energize myself. I do that. I mentioned earlier that I worked for a full year because I was so excited and proud that a whole me was appointed in the whole of Lagos State to come and lead this ministry. I was delighted and I felt, as I said, I wanted to give my best. But I then realized a year in, we had achieved a lot of success. I'd reorientated the mindsets of the people in the ministry, 300 strong. Then, and I think I can speak candidly, when I joined the ministry, one of the first questions I asked, you know when you get a new job, what do you go and start asking around, Abby? And I went and asked around, and you know the questions they asked me? Is there a ministry of comp? That in itself, feedback, I said, oh wow. And then when I joined, I realized that we needed to be clear about what our objectives are. And so it was really about foundations set is, remember when I talked about building a house, you have to have a foundation. So we really needed to get things done. First thing I did was eliminate silo working. The success of one is the collective success of everyone, because I'm a four-legged ministry. So people would say, that's commerce, that's cooperatives is not my own business. I said, no. As far as I'm concerned, our collective success is everyone's, success. So we first of all had to unify and really change. So when I said stop, start, and continue, that is what I did. I looked at things that were working, I looked at things that we needed to stop, and then I realized those things that we needed to continue to work on. And importantly, we started celebrating. Culture is very important. Do you understand, in businesses? Culture is about the way things are done around here. And really, we celebrated each other. So that was energizing. So you know all those things that uplift you, amplify them. Do you understand? And keep yourself going. And prepare as well. I just said I enjoy classical music. I enjoy music. I enjoy uplifting women. That's why I'm here today. I got up at 4 a.m. this morning to catch the first flight to come here, and I'm going straight back to Lagos immediately after this for another meeting. But this is thank you. This is something that I enjoy doing. Miss Anna talked about harassment. This is coming up again, isn't it? But I hope you heard me when I answered. Did you? Oh, they didn't? Oh, it was breaking. One thing I said about harassment is zero tolerance. Pure and simple. Zero tolerance. Zero tolerance with you understanding and evaluating each situation strategically. You do not want it to be a disadvantage on you. Do you understand? So use your sense in managing it. And one thing I can assure you, that in every situation, I am standing here on behalf of all the women in Nigeria that were with you. Do you understand? So call out, and I have our he for she advocate here. Even if you're not sure, just let us know, and we'll tackle it strategically and diplomatically. But one thing you must all be aware of, zero tolerance. Do you understand? And know in your belief that wherever you go, we will stand with you. I think I also need to go a bit more, because Halima specifically gave an example that she left. Where is she? Is she still here? She specifically said that she had to stand down from those roles. Let's have a conversation, because I'm looking forward to you coming back into those roles and showing that resilience. And when women stand with you, we need to stand together. Okay, so we'll come up with a way to make sure you go back. And I also don't know if you heard when I talked about the bill, the Every Seats for Women bill.
Reserved seat for
Reserved seat for women's bill. Insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result. So clearly that is something that all of us here need to understand. And I'll try and make sure that when I come back, we probably have the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs and anybody, and even some of the senators in the legislation, let them come and speak about it. And I'd love to come back for that. And I think when we come back for that, because at the end of the day as well, what gets measured gets done. Do you understand? And so the legislative bill is so important. When you think about Rwanda, that have been able to achieve 50 right now, when you're thinking about other countries where they actually have a degree, and when you think about Lagos State as well, I'm delighted to say that Mr. Babajide, who is the executive governor of Lagos State and my boss, we call him Mr. Tokandu, Mr. Selebu, when he specifically decided that in his second term, his themes plus agenda, which is themes, which are acronyms, but the plus is about gender inclusivity, youth inclusivity, and making sure that everybody is inclusive. I think that is important. And he's not only doing that, he actually, not only saying that, but he does it. Executive Council, we're not at 50%, but we're close to 40 in terms of women participation. The Permanent Secretary, which is the second layer, it's more women than men there, and the agencies, etc. In my ministry, a lot of people in my leadership team specifically are women, and I think we all need to be taking that intentional stand. Thank you. And the last question I have is from Halima, who says, oh, sorry, that one was with Ms. Sana. What, that be? Anna, sorry, that was the one I answered. So Halima's question was framed. She's a multiple businesswoman, and she is playing in so many spaces, and she's one of the people that I know will be contributing to the AFTA and I mean by African Continental Free Trade Area, objective of trying to ensure that we leverage our 1.3 billion people and $13 trillion opportunities that exist. I say kudos to you. I say sky is the limit. Give her a round of applause. I say keep on. I say, as far as I'm concerned, try as much as you can to focus on a business or those businesses and do it very well. Benchmark yourselves. Let's talk. I can certainly make sure we can give you as much guidance as we can. Fortunately, my brother, Charles Odili, is a great, another he for she. And I think with what you're saying, there's a lot that you can do, very well in that arena. You've been to Tarat, or is it Tamat? Tamat Maudi says she's been to so many seminars. No follow-up, how can I help? Well, you've actually asked the right question. And I think one thing that I'm very, very vocal about is accountability. Hold us accountable. Hold us accountable. Don't give up. I just told you in my, trajectory, I know I've become a professional nuisance to get what I want. And I get noticed. And so you know what you want. Make sure that you continue until you get it. Everyone is busy, fact. Do you understand? But I can assure you that those that are persistent get my time. And I will get his time as well. And get any leader that you want to focus on his time as well. So keep on it. Do you understand? It's not easy. But since you know you want it, focus and get it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to the Honorable Commissioner. Thank you very much. Honorable Commissioner, let's go back to the back to wrap up. Give a... Okay. This is... Thank you. Now, as we move on, Honorable Commissioner, before you sit down, when we went into the studio, you said you liked the pillow that you saw there.
Yes,
Can I
do.
have that pillow? Just the pillow first.
You see, when you ask.
The difference in this one is that it has your face.
Thank you very much.
And it has your party at the back. So you can put that on your chair in your office. But we didn't stop there. We also have a glass cup. A coffee cup. I know that you're from London and you like your tea or coffee.
I also like our Lagos, what's that drink? Orobo, I mean, Zobo.
Zobo. Thank you very much for being here. And of course, because of everything that you have done and all the impact that you've done in the life of our young women and in the private sector, and also for everything you've shared with us today, we want to present to you, Honorable Commissioner, this award. Outstanding Women's Leadership Award. This award is hereby presented to Mrs. Folashade Bada Ambrose Medebem. The APC Youth Wing proudly present the Outstanding Women Leadership Awards to you in recognition of your remarkable leadership and enduring commitment to advancing the role of women in leadership, enterprise, and national development. Through your distinguished career in leadership and service, you have exemplified excellence, integrity, purpose, inspiring women to pursue leadership and contribute meaningfully to economic and social progress. Your dedication to fostering opportunities for future generations continues to inspire young women across Nigeria to lead boldly, break barriers, shape the future with confidence. This award celebrates your outstanding contribution to women's leadership and your continued effort to champion inclusive development. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm delighted. And I'm excited. Thank you so much, Honorable Abdullahi Dayo, Israel.
Why do I say that? Because I'm actually accepting this on behalf of all of us. All of us. Can we give him a standing ovation, please? Thank you. Because he for she's like this is what will ensure we achieve gender equity. Remember, I defined it. I defined equality and I defined gender equity. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Can I ask Amaka, Operations, Jumoke, Pastor Makojola, please join us as well. Where is Mr. Femi? Is he around? Yeah, come and join the photo now. Yeah, he for she too. Where is Georgina and Nai? Georgina and Nai, where are you guys? Where is Esther? Where's Esther? Thank you very much. Congratulations, man. Okay, please sit down, everyone. We're wrapping up now before our food gets cold. I still see one of the people putting their hand. Don't worry. When we finish, you walk to her and ask your questions. Or I will give her a chance to interact with you. As soon as we wrap up now, you'll be able to network with her. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I thank you. I wasn't sure what to expect coming here, but I'm delighted that I came, and I've thoroughly enjoyed this session, and I really thank you.
Mike.
And there's just a few short words that I really want to share. It's important to me when I read it, and I feel it's important that I share it. And I'm not just sharing it with you, I'm sharing it with you so you can also go forth and continue to share it as well. It's called Woman to Woman. Be her. The woman who knows the grass is greener wherever she stands because she brings inimitable value wherever she enters. We matter. Our voices matter. Our presence matter. Collectively, we are magically powerful and committed to each other's ascent. Hashtag, as we all know, the theme for this year's International Women's Day is Gain to Give, but I've added a bit more and called it hashtag Give to Gain, Gain to Give. And in Lagos State, we also have a tagline which we call Igbega, Igbeko, Ajumoshewani. Thank you all so, so much. Can we give the entire team led by Honorable Dayo Israel a standing ovation once again. Thank you all so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Folashade Bada Ambrose. So before we go in, before we take our hand, I'm going to give you a chance to come out and network, take a selfie. It's okay, man. Yes. I know she's tired, but she'll do a few. I see that lady running. And then if you're one of the people that I told to stay, either you want to volunteer with us or intern, or you like to be part of our strong cohort, just ask any of our team to let you come upstairs. So guys, for the people I told to see me, let them come to the boardroom upstairs. So, okay, there's a pastry ladies. Where is she? Oh yeah.